Welcome to Treasure Valley Podcast. I am Chuck. Today's episode is brought to you by LowerGentry Studios. Here at LowerGentry Studios, we create thought-provoking content with integrity, and we enjoy every aspect because we are hedonists. You can go to www.lowergentrystudios.com to check out our 2 feature films, We Speak, Brown Truck, and also our web series, Canyon County, all available via different methods and means of watching. You can go to YouTube, you can go to Amazon Prime, or you can just take a very odd quiz.
Yeah.
And hope for the best.
Wow, you really just summed up the website. No reason to even go there. No, wait, actually, you should go there.
Yes, definitely go. Definitely go, because you want to see the content.
Anyway, my name's Elliot.
Oh, yeah, so we have other people here. We have Elliot, we have...
Hi, I'm Zoe Kelly.
And a special guest.
Lindsey Bryant.
Yeah, Lindsey Bryant. We were on her podcast, so she's returning the favor.
Yes.
Woo.
Oh, wait, we're going to get to plugs.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah. Should we talk about what makes today special?
Today is a special day.
Why is that?
This one I'm really excited about that I researched.
Ooh.
So on September 3rd, in the year 301, that's a long time ago.
That was a long time
San
ago.
Marino, the micronation of San Marino, was founded. San Marino is in Italy. It's the oldest sovereign state that's still existing.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And its government mirrors that of the Roman Republic. They have 2 heads of state.
Cool.
Yeah. And so its constitution is written in Latin,
Okay.
and it's been around forever.
Cool.
Do they speak Latin? Or?
They speak Italian.
Oh,
I mean, they're basically surrounded by Italy. Like, it's tiny.
But
like
they just say, this is ours.
It's San Marino. Yeah, they founded like right at towards the fall of the Roman Empire. So
Is it an island?
no, it's right in the middle of the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They stayed neutral during World War II. I read a lot about San Marino yesterday. I didn't take a lot of notes, though, so don't hit me with too hard of a question.
All right.
I just thought it was very impressive that there's been a country around for that long, and it's been so tiny, and you'd think that somebody would have swallowed it up. Like, they navigated like Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a fan of San Marino, so they didn't get taken over by Napoleon. Like,
Interesting.
pretty
Dang.
awesome place.
All right. Well, either way, though, we're not here to talk about...
Happy
we're not here
Independence Day, San Marino.
Okay, I guess so.
They've only had 1,000 and some of them. A lot.
Yeah. Quite
So.
a few. Anyway, we're here to talk about Treasure Valley events, though.
Let's do it.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on in the Treasure Valley?
What's going on in the Treasure Valley?
I looked it up, and there's a discount going on this weekend for Treefort
What? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
for locals.
I saw that.
I already got my pass. I'm super excited. I always go. Do you go, Lindsay?
Why am I confused right now? I thought Treefort already happened.
Oh,
It
once a
happens
year.
every year.
Well, I know, but what did I just take pictures at? I'm like, wait, I thought I just took pictures there.
It was in March.
Yeah, it happens in March.
Yeah, but they do
Oh.
they do different rounds of selling tickets. So this weekend
Yeah.
is the first round. It's like the cheapest round. It's before you know any of the bands there, so you're assuming that it's going to get more popular and the bands are going to be better. But you don't really know. Maybe the whole thing could just fall apart, and you're just given $175, and then the
don't think
bands
it
will
will.
just really
It
suck.
definitely won't.
Not at this juncture.
That was like an opposite of plug-in Treefort that I just did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do they have like, I wonder if they have like B-team bands that they play at different times or something like that. Is weird to me.
I'm sure, like, they have almost every venue in downtown Boise booked for this whole weekend, and then they just rotate in acts.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go at like 12 p.m. to like Boise Contemporary Theater, you're going to see some really weird stuff. But if you go to the main stage,
like on the Wednesday, we remember
on
that
the
one year.
Wednesday?
We were there that Wednesday that one year, and then like literally this dude was just like, "I'm not a rapper and I'm not really a singer. What I do is I just kind of feel the music through my iPod," and he just plugged in.
That's
his
what
iPod.
I do with my camera, so I get it.
But
Probably.
he just plugged in his iPod and he just like turned up the reverb on my mic, and then the guy turned up the reverb, and then he just like sat and like listened to like this kind of like amelodic tone for amelodic tone for a while, and then periodically he'd just go.
it was really trippy.
Yeah, I bet that guy shoots with a cannon for sure.
But anyway, it was great.
So those acts play.
Those plaques play it.
But also Lizzo played like 2 years ago at the main stage. So
And what was the big one last year?
Last year the big one was.
I was really looking forward to Built to Spill last year. I don't remember what the main stage act was. What else did we see that we really liked?
No, it was the guy.
Bumble Bus or Brumble Bus.
Rumble
Bucket.
Rumble Bucket.
Rumble Bucket. Yeah, Rumble Bucket.
Yeah.
I like them.
I
They were
think.
okay.
I
Then
need to
listened
go
their
with
album.
you guys because
Yeah, we really know how to do Treefort.
We
Yeah.
really do.
I've never
Also,
heard of
everybody
any
that's
of
listening
these.
to this should definitely hang out with us during
We're
Treefort.
really fun.
Yeah.
We
it
are
doesn't,
grade A Treefort participants.
There's no sleep that happens.
Nope.
Essentially.
Yeah, we
During
do
those 5
everything.
days.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we do everything. during
It's
that
a
5
blast.
days. Yeah, it's
We
pretty
drink
awesome.
and eat and listen and absorb everything. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
randomly
party.
call out.
So should I tell you the details about the sales?
No.
Sure.
No,
Look
just
it
go.
up.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
just look it
sure.
up.
Yeah. They're on sale this weekend for locals. Figure it out. If
Yeah.
you're local, you should already know this. I don't
Google
even
it.
know why I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
Google it.
Yeah, yeah. What is
If
this?
you're from out of town, you could come visit like early.
Wait,
and
does
then
that say
try to sneak-
$175 though?
Yeah,
That's
for the
all
whole
they're selling
pass,
for?
right?
175 for locals. Yeah,
You guys, that's a really good deal. You got to get
Do
on
they
that.
check your ID?
I don't know.
No,
They
I
make you
I think
bring
they just
your-
have so many. I think they just
They
have
just say
so
what
many.
city
Like
are we in, and if you say Boise, they give it to you.
And then if you say Boise, they're like, "Get out of here! Go smoke your pot in Oregon."
No such thing as Boise.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Oh, and then there's a Broncos football game. That's
is it?
local.
Or were you trying to segue into another event before? I was going to cut you off and
I
start
know that
playing
you
another
were.
thing.
I know that you were. No, that's all I got. Boise State football. I don't know
Okay.
if anybody wanted to gripe with me about the treatment of the NCAA athletes.
No,
Well-
because go Broncos.
Yeah, I
Go
don't really care.
Broncos.
Sorry.
Go Broncos. Right? Go Broncos.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Whatever.
Okay.
Should we talk about some problems and solutions?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about problems and solutions. Let's do it.
You've got problems. I've got problems. We've got problems. Here's the answer.
All
All
Did you
right,
do
Chuck,
that?
what's the
What?
problem?
Was that you? on
No, that was.
That was our professional
Oh yeah, the professional guy that
Musician.
we got come in.
From
who donates
That's
his
awesome.
musicianship.
Estonia, I think. That's what we said last
But if you
time.
reach out to us, if you're interested in a jingle writing, you can reach out to us, and I'm
And then
pretty
we-
sure I can hook you up and get you a good deal.
We act as very good middlemen for this musician.
Yeah.
Who will
100%
remain
professional.
anonymous.
100% professional. Worth
Yeah.
every cent.
Yeah.
We're not going to disclose the amount we pay this guy.
Okay.
So, problem solution. Here's one problem that we were talking about, and it's actually great that Lindsey happens to be here because sometimes we feel static as people, and your podcast, A Fresh Perspective, is about looking at things differently than you would otherwise. So, I think a lot of times people have that problem. Going into winter, I usually do too. Because in summertime, you feel like energetic and refreshed, and then you go into winter and you're like, ugh.
And I'm just depressed year round. I'm a cloud all year.
Well, what's the solution to that?
I don't understand what you guys are talking about. I guess.
You know what?
I'm just always
You're always
pretty happy.
rolling. You collect no moss ever.
No.
I feel like I go in like
I don't even know what the word
cycles
static means.
Oh.
of existential crisis. And that's where a fresh perspective comes from, I guess. Because, like, I, being a woman, have a very rare personality type. It's INTP. And I think that makes up only like 3% of the total population, and then even less percentage for females.
Wait, what is IT?
So Myers-Briggs, it's a personality
Yeah.
type, I guess. And so
But what are the attributes?
Introvert.
of-
It's
introvert, intuition,
Intuitive, feeling and perceiving.
yeah, something like that.
Oh, so you're just
So-
you're just split in half there.
See my dilemma? No.
You're introverted and extroverted.
But I am
I'm
though.
sociopathic and very empathetic.
Switch it off and on. No, but I have heard a lot when I am extroverted enough to talk to people. They always say, "Oh, I never thought of it that way," you know. So I started feeling like, well, maybe what I think has value. And wanted to start sharing that and kind of like organizing my thoughts and bringing people on who wanted to share their stories. Like I'm interviewing someone on Thursday who has had eating disorders her whole life, and it's not a topic that's talked about a lot. So I wanted to offer perspective, not just from her standpoint, but I'm also bringing on her sister to offer the perspective of the family member who's like trying to support someone going through that and what boundaries you have to have. And so I just want to offer different perspectives, I guess, on
That's going to be interesting.
topics. Yeah.
So what do you get when you're talking to people? Do you find that there's an underlying methodology that helps, like just shake people loose when they're stuck?
I don't know. I think that everyone kind of has to come to their own self-actualization, I guess, or like their own willingness to confront whatever's going on in their life. And then I've just been gravitating to people who are willing to share their stories, and I'm just like happening upon these people, and it's just really good timing. And then I just kind of offer that avenue for them to share. I
think it's emotionality. That's what I've been thinking recently.
What
but
do
I
you
change
mean?
my opinions all the time.
What do you mean by that, though?
Yeah.
Lack of self-control over your emotionalities causes a lot of stasis in existence.
That's interesting.
Because you're not thinking your way through things.
Where are you thinking like kind of like the higher brain, like lizard brain type thing? Is that what you mean by emotionality? Where you get like easily triggered into like flight or flight mode or freeze mode?
Yeah, and defensiveness.
Or defensiveness.
Yeah, it's just so you have that knee-jerk reaction, and it causes people to just stick right along the same path, regardless of whether or not they're happy.
So you think the solution is just being more logical?
Not necessarily, but that would help. But I don't think that you can be logical and still have a hair trigger.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. At least in my experience, like whatever caused my feelings of stasis, the only thing that solved my feeling of being stuck in a rut is just being constantly busy all the time. Just like so busy you can't even think about how you're stuck in a rut.
See, and mine's the opposite. If I get too busy, it puts me in a rut. Like I have to have that time for self-reflection or processing my experiences to kind of, I'm very self-motivated though. Like you always have those intrinsic or extrinsic motivations, like either from your environment or you're self-motivated. And I can self-motivate pretty well. So
see, and I'm with Lindsay too, but at the same time, I bet that she and I get more stressed when we have like a giant to-do list.
Yeah.
And I bet you get more stressed if you don't have, if you have the downtime.
Oh yeah, Bradley's watched it.
So
I collapse in on myself like a black hole. If I don't have anything to do, it's like whoop, and I just like get submersed into the couch pretty much, and I become one with the couch.
Yeah, and it's like it would be like it wouldn't be that sad if it didn't have the worst taste in television in the history of the world. And then I just have to sit there and be like, I wish this were like more like medically, like a medical depression scenario, so I could go get a doctor, so I could change the TV channel.
I'll just
only
watch
so much
all of Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, I'm just like literally another episode. You've watched 12 hours of Grey's Anatomy just because you have a day off.
Never even seen that.
Oh, it's awful. It's really
It's
bad.
bad. I started it when I had salmonella poisoning, and then I basically could do nothing except for just watch what I was watching because I was laying on the remote and didn't know where it went, and that's how it began.
And then
for me and Hannah Jane. You're welcome, Hannah.
Yeah, and then you brought it with you.
I did.
To us living together.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's your solution?
What's my solution to stasis?
Elliot.
I don't know. I've never really had. I don't know.
Oh, baloney.
I don't consider myself somebody that really analyzes themselves.
So he still hasn't even reached the first step.
Yeah. Not self-aware enough.
I'm more like a shark. Just keeps on swimming. Just keeps on moving around.
Keep the water going over those gills so you can breathe more.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter who I go past, where I have to go. It doesn't matter as long as I keep moving. I guess that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know, like, is that an existential crisis when you, like, feel like you're stuck in a rut, or what does that feel like?
You've literally never been like, oh, man, I got to do something different or I'm going to go crazy?
Yeah, you have.
I mean, maybe I have. I don't know.
He's not self-aware enough.
I'm trying to be a contrarian, I think. I just want to be. I want to be the guy at the table that just kind of disagrees with everything being said.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with your disagreement. When we were in between projects from We Speak in Canyon County, you definitely got into a point of stasis, and you had to break yourself out of it. I remember.
Oh, what did I do?
Didn't you feel like you had to crank out a script this summer? because we weren't filming anything.
Oh, yeah.
Elliot.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. So I think writing's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
think
works
that's
for you.
Yeah, you just do you do some writing.
Actually, I think I would agree with that too. I think writing is very important because
look
it
at
causes
that.
it causes
I won
you
the
to
table over.
it causes you to think. Well, you had no solution because it doesn't ever happen. You were in denial of it.
The tables changed.
We should debate flat Earth, and then you can stand on that side.
Yeah.
But no, the writing I like because it does cause you to think and reflect again later on when you're mellow, so that you can recognize those patterns that you have when you do something that's maybe unhealthy or disadvantageous.
Or when your emotionality is getting the best of you unwarrantedly. Like when I start to get in a cycle of like, oh, I'm doing really poorly, I can go back and review it later when I journal and be like, what? This wasn't that bad. Yeah. Why was I feeling so crappy? And like kind of check myself that way. Do you journal, Lindsay?
Kind of. I go in weird phases. Like I have a lot of different mediums that I use to get emotion out. Oh, yeah. But I feel like I'm so introverted and so self-reliant sometimes that I have to push myself out of that and talk to somebody else. So a lot of the times having a conversation with someone else, which the podcast I've been doing is really helpful for that. It gets me thinking in a different way too, to where I'm not like just cycling through the same thoughts. Because I can put myself in a rut, I guess, if I'm too introverted.
Gives you a fresh perspective.
Yes. So like I'll write poetry or like short stories, or what I do a lot is what is that called? It's like where you write down a word and then you immediately write down free association type writing, where I'll just go from one thought to the next and not think too much about it and just write the next thing that last thought reminds me of, and that can pull out some subconscious stuff I didn't realize was there.
That's interesting.
Photography help too?
It used to. I'm in this weird place with photography lately.
Is it too much of a job or what?
Yeah, kind of. And I used to really rely on it to tell the stories that I needed to get out of me. But now that I've been through therapy and I can actually communicate what I'm feeling and I'm self-aware enough to know where it's coming from, it does feel like more of a job. And I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm thinking of going a different way career-wise, because I have a lot of projects, like larger scale projects I want to work on that just aren't getting done. And I just don't want it to be a job. I want to only pick up my camera when I'm really inspired or something, and then do another job to make money.
We were literally talking about that before you came over.
Yeah,
because
really.
Speaking of static, because we get a little bit concerned with what we're doing. Because it's last year we cranked out a film. This year, hopefully you can't hear that lawnmower. Oh. Somebody just cranked on a lawnmower.
I can definitely hear it.
I know. Hopefully the mics don't pick it up. But we are just in a neighborhood. People mowing the yards.
He had to start on this side too.
I know.
This side of his house. He couldn't have gone over there.
We'll just put an on-air light like on the outside of my house.
Yeah.
That can't be expensive.
Yeah.
So we were talking about different avenues because we want to expand and start to turn this hobby of ours into a way of making money. But it's kind of a weird situation where it's like, what do we take on?
Yeah.
Because right now we're passionate about everything that we do, and it would be a slippery slope if we started to chase the bucks and what that might look like and how much time commitment that would take, and then what we would have to give up that we enjoy.
I feel like we touched on that when you guys were on my podcast too.
Yeah, we did.
And I said I was jealous of you guys because you only do what you're passionate about right now. And that's where I kind of want to be with my photography. Like I want to say something, I want to make a statement or bring up some historical thing, or like just do something that means something, because it's all an exchange of energy.
Yes.
And at this point, I'm not sure that even receiving the energy that money is equal to what I'm putting out.
And it's easy if you're a creative person to end up just being a medium or a conduit for someone else.
Yeah, and a crutch. That's one thing I've noticed. I went to this intuition workshop and realized that I was relying too much on my photography as a crutch to tapping into my intuition and like using my gifts, I guess, and that people were also using me for their own emotional outlet, and it just felt dirty all of a sudden. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm even like really picky with how I screen the clients I have now, because it's not fair to do that to myself. It's like, I guess there's this expectation as from artists or to artists where, well, you're good at it, you should do it because that's your gift, and you should do it for less than nothing because it comes easy to you, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like that at all. It feels dirty.
There's not a lot of give and take, it sounds like, a lot of the time.
Yeah, we're frightened to go down that road.
Yeah, that's why we're hesitant
far.
to. It's because we don't know what exactly we're going to have to give in order to receive. And right now we
Parts
are...
of your soul.
Yeah, we don't know.
You don't know.
Like, because right now we're in control of what we're putting out there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what we receive, but what's the price?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doing it for free. Unless somebody wants to reach out to some guy that does jingles.
Or just wants to,
We can hook
email
you
us
up.
at this podcast and just
And you could be a sponsor.
Yeah,
We could be, speaking of sponsors.
Your thing could be right here, whatever your business is.
And if you're listening, right here is above us, so the people
or we
watching
would say the name.
can
We would
see
just
it.
probably start saying them and like read them off or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Like Mr. Subliminal. We'll just throw it in there every 12 seconds. So,
speaking of
plugging, Lindsay, would you like to officially plug your podcast over our plug segment before we head out today?
Sure.
It's
Okay.
exactly, you get exactly
All right,
17 seconds.
It's
Just
explaining the
like,
lyrics.
wait, what?
There we go.
Yeah, so basically when it starts, you got to start
We'll
talking.
cue you in.
All right.
Pressure's
Wait.
on.
I'm not ready for this.
I hope you have a very good 17-second elevator
Like
pitch.
what? Like just say.
Oh, it'll explain in the song. Go for
okay.
it.
All right, you gotta plug your podcast. Here it comes.
You got 17 seconds to plug now.
A fresh perspective on anchor.fm. Check it out. I don't know. Go to bnbartistry.org and find all my other awesome stuff that I'm doing.
That was pretty good. Right off the cuff.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, for sure. I thought 17 seconds was going to be too short. but
Me
it
too.
turns
And
out-
I'm like, anchor.fm. Look it up.
Yeah. Maybe we should rewrite the song to make it like
Figure it
3
out.
seconds.
3
And then I'm
seconds.
like listening to what? I'm like, is there
He's
clues?
just counting down how many seconds.
Yeah. Our jingle guy.
It's not like Dora the Explorer where you find.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Lindsay, for coming out today and joining us.
Yeah,
and
thank
thank you,
you.
everybody, for tuning in. Treasure Valley Podcast was brought to you by LowerGentry Studios. Here at LowerGentry Studios, we create thought-provoking content with integrity, and we enjoy every aspect because we are hedonists. Go to www.lowergentrystudios.com to catch past and future episodes of this podcast, as well as a plethora of other original Treasure Valley and Lower Gentry content. Thank you.
Yeah.